Okay, here we go. Hey, Dirk, thanks for joining. All right, let's get started. Today I'm going to go over a content to video workflow that I created. And in this case, what we're doing is we're going to take some data, and in this case, it's going to be pulling from Hacker News. And then we're going to analyze that data, prepare the article, generate videos and images for that, and then put it all together for a final video. And for this instance, I'm not going to actually upload the assets, but we'd want to take that final video and put it somewhere at a Dropbox, Google Drive, etc., and then ultimately want to post that to social media as well. All right, so this is the entire workflow. This is using n8n, which is a low-code automation platform similar to Zapier or Make.com if you're familiar with that. And my name is Alex, and I'm a AI native automation architect building solutions like this that you're seeing. All right, so let me just jump in and then go over the details of what's happening here in this workflow. So starting with the data source. And again, here we are pulling in articles from Hacker News. Pretty straightforward. This data source could be, it could be a Google Sheet, it could be a database, it could be an RSS feed, whatever data source you want to pull from, you can finalize that once you start using this. So, and here for my example purposes, I'm limiting the number of articles so that this workflow doesn't go crazy and use up all my AI tokens from OpenAI, right? So limiting it, this will loop through the entire workflow basically one at a time so that we're not, again, overwhelming, the API, etc. So we're going to take one of these articles, and then I'm going to use an AI agent here. And here you can see this is a tools agent. And what that means is it's going to use a tool. In this case, it's going to use the HTTP request tool. And what does that mean? It means that it takes the URL from the Hacker News article, all right, and then it pulls that article in via a HTTP request, and then it will use the OpenAI chat model to analyze that article and see if that article is related to the topic that I've chosen. And in this case, the topic I chose is automation and AI. Surprise, surprise. So that is the way I'm going to filter out using AI the articles that are being pulled in from um, Hacker News. And what this last piece here does, this structured output parser, it makes sure that the results back from OpenAI are always structured the same way. And if I open this up, you can see here that this is a little bit of JSON. It might be a little bit more technical than what you might be used to seeing, but what this is saying is once you've opened up the URL for the article, give me a summary of that article. Give me a, is it related to my topic that I've requested? And then give me a image URL from that article as well. So you can see here, this is the instruction back to OpenAI to say, this is what I want you to give me back as a result. And you can see here in the output that here's an article summary. Is it related to is it related to automation or AI in some way? And it's determined that it is. And here's the image from that article. All right, so lots of things happening here, but as you can see, it's just a few nodes within n8n that allows you to do that. So we've done the article analysis. This if statement says, hey, is this article related? And again, you saw that in this output, the answer was yes. So since that is a true item, it'll go ahead and um, move to the next step. And the next step is this image analysis. I've actually added this in to say, hey, what's happening in that image that was pulled in from from the previous node, right? So I had that image URL. I'm having OpenAI analyze that, and then also I'm going to go ahead and grab that image from the URL that was provided. All right, so just doing some image processing and analysis that I might be able to use at a later time. Okay, now we've we've determined that the Hacker News item is related to my topic, and then the next thing we need to do is we need to prepare that article for content generation. What does that mean? So what I've told the chat model to do in here, again, OpenAI, it says, all right, prepare the following summary for a newsletter where the article will be one of several presented in the newsletter. All right, so this is my prompt for the OpenAI chat model, right? And then it'll return back the summary, the blurb, as well as two additional summary blurbs that I will use to generate content. So you can see here, here's what OpenAI returned back to me related to the article that we are processing. All right, so that is the preparation. And why do we need all that preparation? Well, we need that preparation because we need to do this next step, which is sort of the heavy lifting of this workflow where we're going to go ahead and create two images, two videos using Runway, and then ultimately we're going to bring it all together, right? So you can see here, if you're not familiar, I'm using Leonardo.ai, which is one of the image generators out there. I've tried a bunch of them. I've tried obviously Dolly when it first came out, Leonardo, Mid Journey, Adobe Firefly, a bunch of them I've used a lot. So, but I found that Leonardo.ai is one of the best tools out there. All right, so I'm going in and taking the data that was prepared in the article prep. So those article blurbs and image prompts. And I'm having Leonardo improve that prompt so that it can use the improved prompt to generate the image. All right. So that's what's happening here. I'm telling it to take, improve my original prompt, create the image from it, and then I'm going to wait a little bit for the AI to run, and then I'll go and get the image ID, and then I'm going to use Runway ML, which is, I mean, if you guys haven't seen some of the videos that it's going to create, it's quite mind blowing. So it takes the Leonardo image, creates a 10-second video from that image, right? So I'm using Runway, and then I'm going to go get that video, and then I'm going to do this process twice because remember we had two images that we want to generate, right? So image one, and then Runway video one, and then image two and Runway video two, right? What does that look like? So here's image one from the article summary and the blurb. And then here's a video that Runway created. So here we have the image. Then this is the Runway video that was generated. You can see it's pretty amazing what it was able to do with that static image. And then here's image two and the video that Runway created from that. Okay, so that's what this portion of the workflow does. It creates the images and then goes out and creates the Runway videos from that, right? All right, thanks everyone for joining, by the way. Looks like quite a bit of people there. So, all right, so next step, we've got the source assets, the Runway, the images, the Runway video, right? And then here we have the sort of the text that's going to be used to stitch it all together. And in order to stitch it all together, I'm using a platform called Creatomate. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the image blurbs, right, from the article preparation. Okay, so I'm taking the image blurb, I'm sorry, the article blurbs from the article preparation, I have the runway videos to use with that article blurb, and then I'm using Creatomate to put it all together, right? So I've got the text, I've got the videos, and then now I'm going to stitch it all together and create a final video, right? So what does that look like? So we had, this video here, the article itself, and then finally we have this video that was generated using Creatomate. So what does that look
SpaceX
like?
celebrates successful Falcon Heavy launch. Falcon Heavy's liftoff sets new records in payload capacity and reusability. The mission features a Tesla Roadster and showcases SpaceX's innovation.
You see here where I was able to create the audio using the article blurbs, right? That was done dynamically on the Creatomate platform, and that actually, in this case, it uses OpenAI's text to speech, where you could also replace it out with 11 Labs if you prefer that. All right, so we've got a bunch of different options to be able to create that, but you can see here that this entire workflow, it will take an article, create, do some analysis of that article, prepare the article, generate the images and the videos for the final video, and then use Creatomate to put it all together. So pretty complicated process if you were to do this manually, right? So imagine how long this might take you. You're gonna open up Hacker News, read a bunch of articles, see which one you like, but and then you're gonna have to go in and go create some images, create some videos, and then go back and try and put it all together. If you don't know how to do video, then what are you supposed to do? So um, this is the kind of the general workflow that I've created, and then again, once that final video is created and you're happy with it, you'd actually want to put that somewhere where it's, some sort of file repository, whatever you end up using. I probably would also want to post the link to the video in a Google Sheet somewhere so that you can actually have a record of all the content that's generated and be able to push that out to different channels, right? So here in this case, we may want to push it out to, I don't know, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, or whatever channel that you're going to be using. So this is the workflow I want to sort of showcase today, where we can take a static article or any piece of content, create the assets for that, and then finally put it all together in video format. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know.